What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Creeps of the Crypt. I'm your host, John, along with my co-host,
Other Alan. What's up, guys?
That's right. We're back to talk about a new episode for the podcast, not a new episode coming out of the series. But before we get into that, let me remind you guys, if you enjoyed this podcast and would like to help us continue making these, you can go to ghostcrusadersmerch.com. Pick up a cool t-shirt. We got a lot of t-shirts on there, and some are from the podcast itself. Some are related to some episodes, and you might dig them. I like them. I have more ideas. I have one particular that I'm going to be working on. But yes, so go head over there and check us out over there, or you can just subscribe to us, give us a 5-star rating. That helps too. But anyway, you and I have not talked in a long time. Because the podcast is bi-weekly, but we have to record these most of the time in advance, particularly because I went away. So this was, I don't even remember the last time we recorded. I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or something like 3 weeks, I think. No, right before.
It was something like that. I think it was before you headed out, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was right before.
Yeah, we're trying to get one in there just so that, we had some extra time to spread out the content and everything. So it was it feels like a while ago though. I know just got back from a trip, so I don't know how much you want to divulge the details. You don't want to dox yourself.
Yes, that's true too.
The kids say.
That's another reason why I had everything prepared in advance, because I also, well, not literally advanced. I did it like a few days before I left. I'm like, let me do these reviews and then put them up there so they could be distributed on the week I'm gone, so people won't know that I'm gone. But it really doesn't matter. My name is out there anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're not too worried about it. Honestly, you shouldn't be. I don't think. Those things can happen, but I don't think a lot of people will go out of their way to do that unless they really hate you. I don't think you pissed anybody off yet. Maybe the ones that misclicked our videos thinking it's the full Tales from the Crypt show, but that's as far as I could think that this can go. This can be reached.
Yeah.
So you're not quite there yet, but I'm sure we get popular enough, people are going to start trying to doxing us or what have you.
Yes. No, they're gonna. I don't know. Especially if I add any commentary on anything. Like, I see my Immaculate review got a lot of dislikes. I don't know if that's because I like the movie and people dislike it because it's an anti-religion film, and it's also a pro-abortion film. So I don't know if that's why, or if it's just didn't like the film in general, and they disliked that I liked it, So, no idea, really. But right. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? I was like, my review wasn't that terrible, but I gave my opinions on that, and I said I still liked the film, even though I didn't like that aspect of it. But anyway, yeah, I went to New Orleans, and it was fun. I did not think I was going to have a good time. I was nervous about going. I think I told you that. Because I didn't want to fight with my friend or his wife. Because I only met her once. So I was like, I don't know. What if I don't get along with her? And then it was funny. It was because one of the things she posted a lot of shit about a musician. I don't want to say the name. And so we were on the way back, and she goes, listen, I love you. Everything's great. You're family now. But this last question is really a make or break. And she's like, so what do you think about this person, this musician? So I was like, oh, the best. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Number one. I was like, and then it was fine. But she was joking, I think. So I would hope. But yeah, no, it was I really enjoyed myself. I will say it's a different lifestyle completely. Like, everybody's nice and everybody looks at you in the eyes. There wasn't one person that wasn't looking at me in the eyes. And I was like, oh shit, this is awkward. And then I got used to it. And then also, it's kind of dangerous, some areas, and the stories I heard the first day I got there from my friend and all his friends. Like, one guy was mugged 7 times in 3 years. Another guy was shot by a little 10-year-old kid. His 10-year-old kid asked him for the time. And then he goes, hey, mister, do you know what time it is? He was sitting in his car. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he looked at his watch to give him the time, and he told him the time. And he goes, no, it's time to die. And shot him in the face, but it went through. But,
all right. Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
then-
so a lot of people were getting me nervous because they were saying that they got their cars stolen. And I mean, not their cars stolen, like, mugged and robbed and all these things. And I'm like, you're making me feel real safe here. I'm like, you're making me feel
Where
like.
is this again? This is
New Orleans.
This is New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. It's even more dangerous than New York, huh?
It feels that way. I mean, at first, it felt that way. When I first got there, and especially hearing all the stories, I was like, oh, I'm going to get mugged. Hilariously enough.
Well, that situation you described sounded like something that'd be in the new Joker movie, asking the guy what time it was and then shooting him.
Time to Die. Yeah, it sounded like it's from a movie.
It's crazy.
But listen, this is the best part, right? So besides that first 2 days, then everything was fine. And he took me to all the nice places. I was astonished. It was beautiful, like literally really beautiful. And it did not feel dangerous, where the part where he lived and where I was walking around and everything. And I got to see some cool stuff. But the last night on the way we went drinking, came back, and on my phone, I'm supposed to leave like in a few hours. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed and wake up at this time, blah, blah, blah. I'm going through my phone, and all of a sudden this white guy comes up to me, and I'm on the second floor balcony. And this white guy goes, excuse me, sir. And I looked at it, he goes, can you help me? I was just mugged.
Jesus.
And I was like, what? So then I go, I'm like, all right, let me help this guy. I'm like, what do you, I said, look, all I can do is call the cops for you because I'm not from here, right? So I call the cops, I give him my phone, he's talking to the cops. They said, okay. They get off the phone with him. Then they call back. They keep him on the phone for 1 fucking hour. Literally 1 hour. And my boy's like, listen, sir, like, we gotta go. Like, he's gotta go to bed. I gotta take him to the airport in the morning. Like, I'll order you an Uber to take you to where you gotta go. Because the guy's not from New Orleans either. So listen to this story. He basically confessed on the phone to the police, but he backtracked one part of it. So he didn't confess. But everything he was saying, he was basically saying, I was trying to get a prostitute, and then she robbed me. That's what happened. He was with her. He said we were haggling. That's why it was basically like, he goes, but not about money or anything, because I wasn't going to pay for. No, of course it was for money. That's what you meant when you said we were haggling in the car. He said, I met her. She said I was cute and everything. I got in the car with her.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then that they were gonna go. This is the first sign too. Let's get condoms. Well, I don't want to get beer or liquor from the CVS because it's too expensive. So we'll get liquor from somewhere else that's cheaper. And I go, that's already. Do you want to go to 2 different places? You're trying to, I don't know. And then he put his phone as the navigation. Why doesn't she have a phone? Okay. For navigation, that makes no sense. Okay, whatever. He can't say the make of the car. He can't say. He probably can, but he doesn't want to because he's gonna get fucked, right? That's probably what it was. So he couldn't say anything except that she was black. They pulled over on the side of the road after haggling forever, and I guess he did not have condoms because I don't know if they picked them up or not. I don't remember his story there. And supposedly he wasn't drunk, which is the worst part. He got robbed not being drunk, and that she was on top of him or touching him on the passenger seat. And then she said, let's go to the back. Why don't you go to the back seat? And he goes, okay. And then he told her, you're not going to leave or anything, right? And she goes, no, I'm going to go to the back right now. Just let me fix my hair and go back there. I'm going to meet you back there. So he gets out of the car and she drives off with his phone and his wallet. How did she manage to get she goes, I don't know. Maybe he took out the wallet from my pocket, or she doesn't remember how the wallet got. I said, did you check the floor? Maybe you were wasting her time so much, and maybe she felt that you had a tiny pinger. And she was like, I gotta get out of here. And then she just, I don't know, man. I don't know. But it was 1 hour, and finally I was like, while they're on the phone for this hour, I was like, they're not coming. The cops aren't coming. I'm like, why can't this guy get this? They're not coming.
Neither's that guy.
No.
Poor bastard.
Oh, yeah, neither that guy. But then he goes, are you going to send the police, please? Because I need to go back home. And then they go, sir, the reason why I'm on the phone with you trying to get this information is because we don't want to send the police.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, this is horrible.
Unless he's dying. That's the only time they're going to come
That's
out.
my boy said in New Orleans, they only care about murders. My boy was in front of a cop. He just went through a red light. The cop didn't do shit. He's like, yeah, they don't care.
Sounds like a little bit more freedom out there now, yeah, compared to other places. That trying to make that extra money from tickets, but they're to rather prioritize murders. So that's says a lot about it.
Yeah, but besides that,
not that. Yeah, besides doxing myself, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, because I'm out of Vegas, and it depends where you go. It's like any other place, you know. You gotta stay where the locals go, and if you go beyond that, then it's on you. And yeah, poor bastard.
Yeah, but besides that, New Orleans was amazing. I got to go to Nicolas Cage has a tomb there. There's a whole story behind that. I'll tell you after the podcast. If people want to hear that story, you can leave a comment. Or you can
go on the locals.
Go on X and message us. Let's hear. We want to hear the Nicolas Cage story, or you can look it up yourself. But yeah, Nicolas Cage actually had bodies exhumed from this grave site. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, so that was cool that we got to do that the last day. But the whole experience was fantastic. I loved it. I'm going back on Halloween. If you've never been, I suggest you go. If like really, New Orleans is it might get a few days to get used to it, but once you get used to the lifestyle, it's great. It really is fun. I mean, oh my God! At one point, I was walking out. It was like loud music. There was a band playing on the street in front of this chicken shack, and there was people all over. Like it was crazy. It was like almost like Mardi Gras. There's Jazz Fest is coming up. That's like a big holiday thing for them too. So all this is going on, and I'm walking by, and all of a sudden, we see like these Christmas lights, but they're all white, and it goes down this alley. So we head down, and it's just all these people selling things. Like they have little tables, like a little flea market, and they're selling like their books, their paintings, like license plates, like personalized license plates or T-shirts, and it was just amazing. I was like, and then you couldn't hear the music outside. It was like, what? It was like a different world, and I wish I took a video of that. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I really like New Orleans. Plus, I met a girl there too.
That's cool, man. Hey.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that later. but anyway, sorry to ruin everybody's time. Wasted 10 minutes talking about New Orleans and our experiences or whatever the case may be.
I think this was a good prediction. I think if anybody was expecting this to go that way with this episode, at least, because there's not a whole lot to get into with that one, but I think we could still share our thoughts about it. And I have to send you the link to the comic is based on, so I guess we can also add a little bit of commentary about that.
Yeah, I know. That's the one thing about this comic this episode is that it is not much to talk about. But it's not, in my opinion, I don't think it's a bad episode. I rewatched it twice today.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get into with you on that. Yeah, I was watching it again today. So yeah, for folks that are still there, they didn't tune out after this this story here from our time off. But hey, it's the podcast. I mean, what more can we talk about?
Yeah. So
there was a lot more interesting in this episode. So
yeah,
this one is another one of these directed episodes from the folks that worked as like a writers. I think his name was Stephen E. D'Souza, and this episode is called Carrion Death. It stars my boy Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks fame.
Yes, your favorite act. Well, no, you love him though. And it was also aired on June 15th, 1991. And the writer Stephen E. D'Souza, funny enough, he's done a lot of great things. It's one of those times where they normally don't have good writers, right? Besides Fred Decker, I think. Normally the writers are just not really good writers. It's not like a well-known writer, I don't think. I gotta go back and look at every episode. But Stephen D'Souza is
I didn't know
a
him
good
by
writer.
name, but he was part of some movies that I did like. Die Hard, Commando, one of not my top favorite, but it's up there. Arnold movies, and 48 Hours I think it's better than what they have else listed here. I think he wrote one of the Tomb Raider movies.
Yes, and he wrote The Running Man, Judge Dredd, and Street Fighter.
Yeah, Running Man. That's my favorite Arnold. That's the best.
Yeah.
Running Man or Total Recall.
Yeah, I actually don't remember Running Man. I've seen parts of it. I don't think I've actually seen the whole film. So it's actually
give it another watch. It's pretty entertaining. I mean, a lot of those movies at that time were entertaining, and I mean Arnold was big in his game back then. I mean, not so much these days. I don't really have no interest in the new stuff he's doing really. It's just just don't make those kind of movies with him like they used to. But he's also old as shit. So what can you do?
especially when once he became governor, and then he extended. I think he was 3 years governor, or not 3 years, 3 terms. So that whole time period was lost, so of him being an actor. But
Yeah, he could have done a lot more movies.
so Carrion is the title. Carrion Death is the title of this episode. Carrion means dead or putrefying flesh. So it's kind of like Carrion Death is like dead, putrefying flesh, dead. What? But I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to. It's a pun on the word.
Yeah, a little play on words. With
Yeah,
that title.
because
that's what I noticed.
Because our main character Raymond Diggs, played by MacLachlan, is already. You would think about it. He's like a dead, putrefying flesh. Like he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of garbage. He's a rotting.
Oh yeah.
He's a rotten human being. So it starts out with a gun shootout, and actually he kills a girl and a cop. He's running out of a bank. He just robbed the bank. You hear a scream, and he says, "Shut up, bitch!" And he gunshot. So she stops screaming. He killed her. Then the cop comes and chases him. He shoots the cop. Then he tells people, "Get out of the way." He gets in the car. He already stole that car, and he's driving off. And then he turns on the radio, and the radio says, Raymond Diggs escaped from Yuma prison before his execution. So he's already on death row. He killed, prior to us being introduced to him, 3 Phoenix nursing students. That's what led him into death row. So that's 3. Then he killed a doctor and the prisoner guard. So that's 4, 5, right? Then the cop and the woman. So 7 people so far. So he's a piece of garbage. So we're following this piece of garbage right off the bat. And he just robbed the bank. He's driving off, listening to the radio and happy. He's like, "I'm going to Mexico. I'm getting out of here. My life, I escaped. I'm good." All of a sudden, this motorcyclist patrolman pulls up next to him and shoots. He's just trying to kill him because that's it. I'm not bringing this guy in alive. I'm killing this fucker. He's a murderer. I'm just going to kill him, and that's it. Shoots him but misses. Ends up swerving, tries to hit him off the road. The cop swerves off and falls off his bike. Would have been dead, but we're in an imaginary pretend world. And so the cop gets back up, starts chasing him, and again, I don't know, I forgot how this happened, but he swerves the vehicle and ends up like in front of the cop, or the cops what did he do?
Tries to run it. I think he runs into the back of him, or tries to do like crash right into him. Then he jumped out, and then as it was going without the guy, he just crashed into this car.
I'm getting confused with the comic,
a little
and
bit differently.
Much better too. Actually, the comic was much better. So this is based off the comic, as all episodes are so far, and same comic, Carrion Death. Actually, I'm surprised this was picked because I was looking at the comic and there was some better stories.
In the comic, I would say that it's just the story is very simplistic. I mean, there's some underlying themes there, and like even from the title, you're just going on regarding that. It's just that I think there was definitely better stories I noticed prior to this one in that same issue that they put out. That's that this is based off of.
Yeah, like I said, they had a Ray Bradbury story. This was kind of long, and that, by the way, that was because they were just stealing Ray Bradbury shit. So
they're just adapting the story.
Yeah,
that's the first thing is why even adapt this story if I don't know what interested them to adapt this into the show.
No, well, I'm saying like with the comics, when they were really ripping him off, and I think he found out, and he was like, "What the fuck?" It was a science fiction one that they ripped off, and he's like, "What the hell?" So then they came to an agreement. "Oh, we'll just give you credit." So they just started giving him credit, and he was like, "Okay, I don't care. More people read my stuff." So they didn't have to pay him, I don't think. So which is cool. You don't get that today. Everyone's suing for money. So they got to do that. So. Yes, I don't remember how exactly the car swerves off, what happens the second time, but all I know is the cop's chasing him again. I don't know if he's trying to slam on the brakes like he does in the comic, but he does. The car swerves to the side, and all of a sudden, a patrolman's coming right for him. He jumps out of the car, and the patrolman hits the car, and the car explodes. The patrolman falls off. He jumps off his bike, and the bike explodes, then the car explodes. And Diggs got away, and the patrolman, he's out unconscious supposedly, not that far away. And then Diggs walks back to his car, and it's miraculously the fire's gone. The car's not charred, and the money's still there. And you see the vulture looking at the smoke that was billowing in the sky before Kyle MacLachlan goes up to the car. And then Kyle's like, oh, sayonara. There are some funny parts in this episode, but basically the entire episode is just Kyle MacLachlan is trying to get to Mexico. This vulture keeps appearing in front of Kyle MacLachlan after the accident. And Kyle MacLachlan is kind of like, the buffet's been canceled, but there's a civil servant over there for lunch you can have, and the cop's awake. The cop gets up after falling 2 times off his bike. He's got a good helmet. And the cop's trying to track him down, and they end up getting together because, script had to be written this way to get these two together. The comic is much better, but it would have been a much better if they just. I don't know why. This is the one time when you have a good writer who's written good things. Like I said before, it's got to adaptate a comic is good. It's a good comic. I was like, this is much better. This is so much better. It could have just.
It definitely was, especially with like how they ended up handcuffed together. Because in the comic, he became unconscious after the whole accident, and then he was already handcuffed to that guy and calling dispatch and everything. And in this one, they just made it awkward for them to lose sight of each other, and then they end up finding each other again in this middle of nowhere shed or little house there that they meet up at and have that fight. It was just it's not as good and unnecessary to make it was just cheesy and him eating the key before he died. Okay, this is where we're gonna go.
Yeah So they go to this.
There's like no surprise and nothing.
No, it's just the comic was much better because it's all about him trying to get away and then him talking to himself. I don't know if they didn't want to do voiceover in this or just him talking to himself like he does in the comic, like he does in the episode. He does talk to himself out loud. But so he's just trying to get to Mexico, he sees a sign, says like a restaurant not that far away. He goes over there, is empty, abandoned, like just gone. And he's looking for something to drink because he's exhausted. He's been walking for, I think it's 2 miles to this place. And also the cops.
However long it was, but like he's got like 25 miles to go. So I don't know. I wouldn't even make it past 3. So it's pretty crazy how that whole time frame transpired, and then all that time in miles he has to walk, and he just clearly wasn't gonna make it.
But then the cop's right there, like right on his tail after he got a jump start and everything. The cops just
exactly. He was so far away as
I know
they weren't even in the same area.
No, not. It was like okay. Then he knew. Diggs had to pick up the sign and look, and whatever. So they fight, and Diggs shoots him, kills the cop, and right before the cop dies, he swallows the key. And then he falls out the window, and then the cop falls out the window. Diggs is trying to hold on to him. He goes, no, what am I going to do? There's glass. There's literally broken glass right on the fucking window frame. Just take that piece of glass. There's rocks everywhere. You can't tell me you're not going to find a rock and you can't sharpen. Cavemen did it. There's a guy on TikTok. That's all he does. He's can you make a tomahawk out of? Yeah. And then he just starts taking 2 pieces of wood, of rocks together and starts chopping it and making a tomahawk out of a fucking piece of rock. He can make a spear, anything. I mean, geez, all you got to do is hit 2 rocks together for a long enough time to make it sharp enough. And then you're out of this, buddy. I don't understand this, but nope. We wouldn't have a story if it went that way. But like I said, the comic was much better. I'm assuming the writer wanted to try to make it a little bit longer, which they could have done just by adding the intro of him robbing the bank or escaping the prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have done a little bit more with that than what they did. It just was kind of half-assed, it seemed like, or it just wasn't well thought out.
Yeah.
What was that random sign? Like 50 miles to Pollo Loco and then 6 miles to Mexico.
Yeah.
He got there pretty fast.
Well, the first sign was 2 miles to wherever that place was, and then when he got there, that's where it says, I think, 60 miles to Pollo Loco and 25 6 miles to Mexico. It was 6 miles from there. That's 7 miles. There's no way, man. I remember one time I got dropped off at the train station with my brother, and that was before Uber. And I was like, let's walk. And mind you, I had people call me and say, hey, I saw you walking. And I was thinking the day after, well, the fuck didn't you pick me up, right? Me and my brother were trying to walk home. I was dying. I could never make it. I don't even think we made 6 miles, and let alone however many this guy's got to do. But, oh, God.
Yeah, it's in like the desert pretty much. So,
yeah.
Jesus.
He'd be dead right away. But, so he's like, all right, I can make 6 miles. And he puts the cop on his shoulder and starts walking. And he's headed for Mexico, and that's the entire episode until the end, pretty much. He's just talking to himself, arguing with himself. He's arguing with the vulture that keeps following him wherever he goes, and he's like, "Well, why don't you eat this guy?" But no.
Just waiting for them to die. I guess 2's better than 1.
Maybe.
Well, in the comic, it was cool. The comic was
yeah.
cooler because he was having thoughts about how. Yeah, oh damn, this is great. The crows are gonna eat this guy, and then I can get out of here. And then, they think he knocks out for a bit, and he wakes up. He already had half his body eaten by the vultures.
That was so much better. Yes, that was like, why didn't they do this ending? Although this ending isn't terrible, I will say, I don't mind this episode.
Not as good.
It's not as good as him waking up. Like
I like what making that like MacGyver shit with the cop's badge and then that piece of wood, like a little hacksaw. Yes. And he was just so delirious, and because he's dehydrated, and then he cuts his own arm off, pretty much all of it. There's a little bit left, that was keeping him hanging off the ledge before it just ripped completely. So that part was kind of cool.
So I will say there's a part where
the effects are cool.
They just show him struggling, but not really as much as the comic shows it. Like there's more, it shows it worse, right? But this one, he's struggling. He finally gets up this mountain, or this rocky mountain, with the dead body, which is hilarious. And he's looking. He goes, "Oh my God, I made it! It's just right there. It's all downhill from here." And then that's why I thought it was hilarious. Because then when he said that, I couldn't do it. He says, "I couldn't have done it without you, buddy," to the dead body. And then he goes, "It's all downhill from here." And then the cop falls, and he starts falling downhill. And I was like, that was hilarious because that worked out. That's good. That's funny. Like, it's a twist on what he's saying. He's saying that all the way to Mexico is like 2 miles or whatever, not that far. It's all downhill, so I don't have to worry. I'm done. But how are you going to get to Mexico with the fucking body? You still got this body on you. So...
yeah, he's going to get arrested immediately as soon as people see him.
Yeah, so he falls back with the body, and then he gets up, and the vulture's there again. And he's like, what do you want? And then he's seeing double because he's dehydrated and exhausted. So then he sees the badge. He makes the MacGyver type. He tries to make which in the comic was a little ridiculous that it fell through a crack. In the comic, when he sees the badge, he said, "Oh, I'll use this. I'll sharpen this." I used to watch how they butcher chickens, and I know how to cut whatever. Which reminded me, when I was a kid, I did actually see them. There was a place over here where they actually took live chickens and they chopped the head and they took out which they put it actually through a machine or something. I remember. I don't remember how they actually took out the feathers, right? But I feel like, but I remember the smell. It was the worst smell ever, literally. And they have rabbits too. You could get rabbits also. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. I was a kid when I went to that. My grandfather took me. He was buying chicken or something, and I was like, I can't believe he took a 5-year-old to see a chicken being murdered and a rabbit. And that was some fucked up shit. The chicken was like, they saw them snap the neck with their hands. Like they take it and they twist it and they snapped it with their hands, the neck, and then they chopped it. And then I did not see the rabbit. They took the rabbit away from me. I guess they didn't want me to see how they killed the rabbit, which is awful. So he's like
rabbits, John.
No, I think rabbits are cute. I had one. So he starts screaming at the vulture. So you're not getting this meal, right? And then he ends up sharpening this badge and then taking a piece of wood. I don't know what he was doing with the piece of wood. I guess, to put it into like an axe. And then he goes to chop it off. And that was one part I do like from the show that I did like from the comic, where he goes to chop it because he was having the blurred visions. He actually chops his own hand, and he starts screaming. and then he falls.
Effects are pretty good.
Yes, that's true. They were. Although there's a lot of things in this episode that were pretty bad, technically. Like after he does this, where he sharpens the badge, and he cuts his hand off, and they fall backward. You could see through all those 3 shots that is a dummy. There's nobody with him falling. So it was a dummy the entire time. Whoever the stuntman was that was falling was with the fucking mannequin, and you could see it very clearly. I was like, oh my god, that's horrible. This is like they do a good job editing that, but and then like I like the funny lines in the beginning. But again, there's so many ways. I mean, if he's dead already, and even the comic. I mean, the comic is better because it goes multiple days. This is just 1 day, which kind of sucks, right? So, I think the comic is much better. But in this, it's just 1 day. He's already almost to Mexico, cuts his hand, guy dies. I mean, he falls off the cliff. Oh, he's about to fall off the cliff. So it was before. I think they fell before. Oh, yeah, when they fell off the hill. So you see the body is just a dummy each time. So then this time he cuts himself, he's screaming, he falls back, and then he's hanging off his cuff. The cop's dead, and that's a good special effect because that looked real. When the hand ripped off, his hand ripped off the cuff, he falls and he's paralyzed. He broke his neck, and he's just standing there looking around. And there's the vulture. In the comic, is multiple vultures chewing up, eating him and the other guy. And this is just that vulture. And that's the episode. This is not much to talk about. It's a closed, contained story where just one character really is the main star. The cop has not that many lines himself. It's Kyle MacLachlan's show. So he gets the whole thing by himself. And I think he does a good job. And I do like the funny parts and the special effects in the beginning. Then when they show, Kyle MacLachlan with his neck broken, the neck broken part is not that good, but also they show him a fake hand, like a fake arm that's cut off. That looks horrible. And then it's just one vulture too. I get what they're trying to do there. There are also scenes where you just see the vulture come into frame and somebody just threw that fucker right there because there's, like, you can see the way the vulture lands. Like, this guy wasn't a very, flying. He didn't fly much, dude. Like, he jumps off, falls on top of the car. You could tell somebody threw him on top of the car. Every time he shows up flying somewhere, or landing, he was thrown. And then whether he ate the eye, because he does the same thing in the comic. In the comic, our character, I don't know if it's Raymond Diggs. I don't think he says his name. He's laying there. He's trying to be quiet because he had an opportunity the night before for the vultures to eat him and get him out, but he ruined it by being loud. So he's like, I'll be quiet. And then when he opens up his eyes, half his body's already gone, been devoured. And he's like, oh my God. Now, that's what I don't get about the comic. Is he dead? Really dead? And obviously his body's been devoured. But when he says that, is he dead? Or he really is awake? I don't understand. Did he really just come back to life and see that they're eating him, or they can't? I don't know.
Well, it just seemed like he was dehydrated, and I think he knocked out for a couple seconds or a couple minutes, and then just woke up to the guy getting eaten, and they already got halfway through him. So that's kind of how I took it.
Well, because his last line is, "For I am dead." Because he goes, "I can only watch in silent horror as they feed upon me. I can watch only until one of them plucks my eyeballs from my skull. For I am dead." But he is talk. Oh no, he's not talk. Oh no, he is talking. At one point, he says, "No, no, no." So I don't know. I would assume he's. I don't know.
I guess it's just a narration after he died. I guess one of those things.
I think he died.
That they do.
Yeah,
he's already dead, but
or maybe he came too.
Narrating it.
Yeah, who knows? Either way,
he's in the afterlife.
much better done comic book than this actual episode, in my opinion. As I said, Kyle MacLachlan does the best he possibly can with this material. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a dummy too. That's a dummy too. I didn't even notice that. Alan just sent me a picture from the episode, which I didn't even notice that the Kyle MacLachlan when the vulture's on top of him.
Some chicken cutlets off his eyeball.
Yeah, it's really a dummy also. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's horrible. That is ridiculous. But yeah, this episode is not the worst, and I think Judy, You're Not Yourself. That one I still think is probably the worst.
No, I think the thing from the grave is
worse.
a lot more forgivable. Less forgivable episode.
Yeah, this is better.
Because they had good talent. It's just the story sucked.
Yeah. Yes, that's the thing too. This has one guy. It's a story based on really one guy. I mean, give kudos to the actor who decided to keep himself pretty much covered, his face, because I thought it was a totally different actor. There's an actor in the movie Near Dark. He plays the father. I thought that was this guy, the cop, the entire time. And then I found out, no, it's not, some other dude. So I was like, oh, wow. Some guy named Greg DelHoyo. So this actor kept the mask on the entire time. So I was like, oh, wow. Speaking of which, I think this writer wrote Judge Dredd after this. I am the law.
Seen it a few times growing up. I remember, I thought it was pretty cool. I guess when I saw it at the time, but it's definitely, you get it. It's pretty campy, but if you go along for the ride, you'll have a good time.
Yeah, it's campy, but it's fun. It's not. I mean, as a Judge Dredd movie is not. It's not a good one.
Yeah,
the Judge Dredd one with Carl Urban. I don't know why that movie didn't do better. I mean,
that movie was great.
That movie was epic. That was Judge Dredd to a T, and he kept the mask on the entire time. Actors need to do that more than be like Robert Downey Jr. and want their face shown. But anyway, so let's the episode one more time. Let's finish this up. This is probably the shortest episode I think we did. What's your rating on Carrion Death?
I hated it the first time I watched it, back when I was getting into the show, and we were talking about it back then, before we started the podcast. But yeah, now that I kind of get what I was going for, at least reading the comic, and while they didn't really do it as better as the comic, I see at least what they're trying to do. I wish they had probably picked a different story in that same issue that this story was in. I think the one before seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.8. I don't think it's the worst, but not really the best. It's one of those.
2.8.
I'm gonna do 2.8 there.
When did we come up with 0.8s now?
I gotta skew it a little bit, because this is I feel like a 3 is too high for this one.
I will give it 2.5. I'll give it 2.5, 2.8. My boys over here coming up with a whole new rating system. So,
2.5 2.5 works. Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah, 2.5 out of 5 I think is good. I don't remember what. We gotta go back and listen to every single episode we reviewed, but to see what our ratings are, I gotta write them down. But yeah, no, 2.5 is I think it's fair. It's really just Kyle MacLachlan, and they had one vulture. I get what they were trying to do, but
yeah, really. That must have been a low budget.
And this vulture was like a real, how this guy was never outside. This guy was taught and lived in somebody's home. Really?
Yeah, it looked like the nicest vulture
Yeah,
ever.
I know.
He was mad chilling at home, and his stupid owner had to get him out here in the middle of the desert here. I wonder where they filmed this, but it looked hot.
Kyle MacLachlan, no, it was windy at some parts, so it wasn't that hot. Kyle MacLachlan throws his gun at the vulture, and it hits that board, and the vulture falls, but he doesn't fly away. He tries to climb back on like a cat, like nothing. Like, I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, they should have done the one with the guy, the doctor, in the comic before. There's a whole thing with a doctor that becomes a wolf and then it becomes like a zombie. I was like, that's a better idea.
Yeah, that part was interesting.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even read it yet. I want to read it because I'm like, that one was real interesting looking. I'm like, then the other one about the kids, the Ray Bradbury story, I was like, that's interesting too. But yeah, this issue looks really good. Actually, I can't wait till it actually comes out. What's it called? The Meddlers.
The art on these are pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, the other story. I thought it was a lumberjack story in this issue. It's about an escaped asylum girl that escaped. She's like the same story, pretty much. Like a terrible person escapes somewhere and ends up, But I was like, That looked interesting. I didn't read it. I just looked through the pictures, and then I read like some parts where it's like this person escaped, and then he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get me," and then ends up like being like one of those, reverse scenarios where he shoots because he thinks he's shooting that, and he ends up shooting his wife. And I was like, "That's interesting. Why didn't they do this one? Maybe they do. I don't know." But 2.5 out of 5 stars for this episode. My opinion, Kyle MacLachlan is the best aspect of this episode because he is the episode, and he's trying to do whatever he can with very little, you know. So, and then the writer, he tried to make it a longer story where he could have done something different. Like we could have focused more, like showing him coming in and listening to the reports, right? Like pulling into the bank and you hear the reports on the radio, and then he gets out and he walks in, and then we see the robbery, right? And then he kills the people and he runs out, and we discover, oh, we're following the bad guy. We're following the guy that was on the radio. And then the cop chases him, and then he crashes through the window like it does in the comics and blacks out. And when he wakes up, he's already handcuffed to the cop. You know, and then the
that would have been better because I think that kills a lot of the extra fluff they try to add with them fighting in that shed or little house there.
Plus the glass was
right
like
they could have just done a whole couple 5 minutes just for that build up and setup, like in the way of Drive did. You know, the whole setup with him driving to the meetup and everything unraveling. There's a robbery. He's driving people. They're getting away. You know, that would have killed a lot of time. That would have made the episode feel a little bit less long, or at least interesting.
I'll add one thing. They could have had when he wakes up and the cops attaching him. Instead in the comic it says bring the master key because I forgot mine. It could have had him attack the cop. They could have had their fight right there, like in the comic, and then the guy could have had the upper hand. He pulls the guy's gun out and shoots him, and he could have done the same stupid thing where he eats the key, right? And then from there he goes through, and then have it be not just one day, have it be like he's tortured, and like in the comic it's like 2 days I think in the comic, or at least 3 days because he died. I think it's like 3 days. He's trying to get away because the cop already called him for backup. Now he knows they're on his tail, you know. And then have it like one night he's sitting there and the vulture's there at night, so this way you could do something, you can make it look like there's more than one vulture. But 2.5 out of 5 is fair. For some reason, this is highly rated on IMDb. This got like a 7.3 on IMDb, and I just don't understand.
Yeah, that part I didn't understand.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's not bad. I think it's good, and it had a good writer. I'm just surprised he went with this route. Maybe it's just budget reasons he had to constrain it to this, I would assume. So yeah. MacLachlan is the best part, but he's the only thing in the episode. So, the next episode we'll be reviewing is one of my favorites, and it's a good one in my opinion. Is called The Trap, and it stars. I'm gonna say who it stars now: Bruce McGill, Bruno Kirby, Terry Garr, I believe that's her name, and it's directed by Michael J. Fox. You know, when I saw this, because they talked about how Michael J. Fox directed this. I was a fucking stan of Michael J. Fox since I was like 5. I loved Back to the Future. I loved Teen Wolf. I had every one of his films. I'm talking, except for Poison Ivy. I had everything. Back to Greedy, Life with Mikey.
Frighteners.
Frighteners. I had Frighteners. I saw it in theaters. He had another fucking thing. The only thing I didn't watch was Spin City. And that was like his TV show. Or the other one, Family Ties. I hate that show. To be honest, I don't like it at all. I'm like, this is just the cheesiest family in the world. But anyway, next episode is great. Bruce McGill, I know him from Quantum Leap and MacGyver. I think he played MacGyver's one of MacGyver's best friends. That's, you know, he wasn't really on all the time. He had like a few episodes, but he had this thing where his eyes always blinked when he was lying. That's how MacGyver knew he was lying all the time. So, and then he was in Quantum Leap in the first episode and the last episode. The original Quantum Leap. So he plays God in the end. So, there was a lot of religion in the original Quantum Leap. Something new writers would know nothing about, and that's why that show sucked and failed. Anyway.
Canceled, yeah.
Yeah, thank God. I'm so happy about that. All right, everybody, that's the episode today, episode 27 of Creeps of the Crypt, a Tales from the Crypt podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to leave a good rating, or if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you thought about this episode if you're on YouTube or Rumble or Odyssey. Yeah, so you could do that. And if you're on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a rating if you enjoyed this episode or you enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back not next week, the next week after with The Trap. That's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace out. Take care, guys.